I got it! When I first heard about Dave being trapped in a maze...
1, 2, 3, 4!
I built a labyrinth. Can you believe it?
Dave is trapped in a cardboard maze in his living room and he can't get out.
Welcome to Dave Made a Minute, the podcast where a whole bunch of us are exploring the film Dave Made a Maze 1 minute at a time. The twist. Many of the participants have never seen the film. Some don't even know what film they're sampling. They get their minutes and they tackle them as they see fit. Here's your host from the Groundhog Day Project and Michael Myers Minute, Robert Black.
Minute 12, we get a roll call of everyone who's shown up, including hobo from the street, Rick Overton, and a couple of Flemish tourists. And pizza arrives. A couple notes from the commentary track. Steve Sears and Bill Watterson had no idea where Flemish even is. They used Flemish as generic European. Additionally, Steve Sears idolized Rick Overton upon meeting him, and he mentions Willow, one of my favorite films. As many times as I've seen that movie, my go-to for Overton is Groundhog Day. On that note, to tackle Minute 12, we have Sean German and Dave Pallas of Groundhog Minute, along with James Costa of Whole Wheat Costa.
You come home, there's a giant maze in your living room. You're like, what the? There's a giant maze in my living room. I've heard of people rearranging the furniture, but this is wackadoodle crazy. Give me a sense of that.
This doesn't make any sense.
The problem? There's a promise to my segment. But solution's no problem.
It's like a fucking cocktail party in here.
I get a few words from you before you go.
And welcome to Minute or Dave Makes a Maze Minute. We're not really sure. We're kind of lost in this with you, listener.
It's a mystery, just like this maze itself.
Yeah. So thank you. Hopefully you can find your way out of here like we can. But yeah, we'll just get started. I'm Dave.
I'm lost at the entrance.
That's my buddy JD. And in the back of the maze over there, that's Sean.
I'm Sean. Yeah.
So
it's a labyrinth.
It really is. We don't know why Rob Black called us in here, but we're gonna do our best to try and get through this.
Yeah. Well, this is I don't know if you caught this, Dave. Dave Pallas, not the maze Dave, but
different Dave. Yeah.
So as I guess the listeners have been hearing that the different hosts were assigned their minutes randomly. Robert Black said he picked these particular minutes for us. And so one of the things I've been trying to do as I've watched our assigned minutes is trying to figure out like why, just that extra pressure, figuring out like why those minutes.
What does he want from us?
What? Yeah, basically, yeah. What do you want from us? What did we do? What did we do to deserve this kind of thing? So
I have a theory. Dave is used to packing stuff for his job, so I think all the cardboard lines, he picked Dave for that.
Oh my god! It feels like he just dipped into my personal life, and he.
Well, if he's as mysterious as this movie, he's watching us.
Oh no! So okay, we'll dive in. So yeah, today, minute 12. I didn't really bring out a summary because I don't really have all the thoughts here, but we have Annie and Gordon kind of holding down what looks to be the apartment with Dave. Dave seems to be yelling through the chimneys of the maze, asking who's in the room, and then a hobo tells us he knows about cardboard, and a pizza gets delivered.
Yeah. More cardboard.
More. Yeah, well, so that's one of my theories, as going back to that question of why these minutes, just to pick one thing out of that fantastic summary, is the hobo, who is played by Rick Overton, who was in many things, but I particularly know him from Groundhog Day, where, it was a movie that Dave and I, again, Dave Pallas, not the Maze Dave, I think this is going to get very confusing.
We'll go with Dave P. and Dave Maze.
Yeah, a movie that Dave P. and I covered 1 minute at a time at groundhogminute.com. So I don't know if, this is the only minute that Rick Overton appears, but it is one thing. And in particular, so Rick played Ralph is the character's name, but you probably know him better as the Flapjack Man. He's the guy who was asking Phil, hey, who else could go for some flapjacks right now?
And Obo's vomiting in the car.
Yeah. So that's our hobo. I guess that's one connection between us and this movie. So there you go. And he plays A good hobo. I buy it. This guy's a hobo.
Yeah,
good acting.
Yeah, he did seem rude. He wanted to know if the shower was there, and was excited about food. But yeah, seems like a decent guy.
I mean, it's not out of the ordinary. I've gone over people's houses and within the first 5 minutes asked if I could use their shower. So, yeah. Sometimes you get back from a bar, you've been eating too much barbecue, and I need a shower because you're just sweating. Meat sweats.
You get those flop sweats. Yeah. So as we start the minute, we're introduced to Annie, who immediately I feel bad for. I'm just like, oh, she looks like she doesn't like this at all. She's like the people in the house, doesn't like Dave in the maze.
You could tell by her face that she's like, what's going on? Like, why are there people here? Why is she stuck in a miniature cardboard maze?
I feel like she doesn't need to make that PBJ, but she's making it so she can be outside the room for just a moment.
Right.
I'll make myself a sandwich in the kitchen. I don't want to deal with these people.
Just to get out of she's the Terry Garr of this movie.
She's grounding
She's
herself.
the normal one who if you just come in this minute oh, she's crazy. It's no, she's normal. And she's just having a natural response to being surrounded by craziness. And she's trying to keep it together. Right. Let me just make a sandwich.
I feel like the sandwich is her grounding herself. This is all out of the ordinary. I'm going to go eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There's nothing out of the ordinary for that.
Yeah.
Although that's kind of weird because does she know there's a pizza coming?
I think, that's what drew me more attention to the PB&J. It's no one was surprised that the pizza was there, so she clearly knows there's a pizza on the way. But yeah, you're right. I think it is. I think it's her just being I need to separate myself from these people. And it's and there's a whole sink full of plates behind her. So you can think maybe she'll just do chores, but she's like, I'm not up for doing plates in the sink, but I'll make a sandwich. I'll make some comfort food right now.
I'll do that. When I get together a big family gathering, I'm like, is there something in the kitchen? Can I check on the turkey? Unload the dishwasher, load the dishwasher. Is there something that needs to be done? Oh, you forgot cranberry sauce? I'll run to the store. I'm suddenly very helpful just because then I don't have to make chit chat small talk with people that I only see once or twice a year at big holiday gatherings kind of thing.
Right. You're trying to separate yourself, which is what she's trying to do.
Is that Anne?
Yeah, I believe that's Anne. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some trouble kind of picking up the names.
Yeah, I had to go back through the script that the Professor Rob Black gave us. Yeah. So, but yeah, it looks like Gordon, the other guy in the room here, seems to be kind of holding down the fort, literally. He's giving us the exposition of who's in the room to Dave.
Right, we get kind of a little bit of a roll call.
Now he mentions Harry, and we're going to meet Harry later in the film, I believe. So we don't see Harry, but it looks like Harry is. I don't know. I can't tell if David wanted Harry to be there with his crew because we're going to meet them later. But it looks like two people of his entourage are here.
Right.
Play two people who are doing their best David Cross and Judy Greer impression. That's the first vibe I got from that. I was like, if this was a multi-million-dollar budgeted film and they wanted to get some A-listers, they would get David Cross and Judy Greer to play these two.
Exactly. Yeah.
Straight out of a Portlandia skit. They're just straight out of a Portlandia skit. So bad. They brought those mugs from the coffee shop. The shop where you can sit down and drink your coffee. They took the mug with them. Oh, I heard they have that as a maze. Ooh, and they just left.
And I know
mug in hand. Yeah.
I know relationships. It's not her that was curious. It was the guy he has a cardboard maze in his apartment. Let's go. We got to get out. I threw a 20 on the table. Let's get out.
Yeah, it's they're tired of reading some magazine about arts and crafts. And they're like, ooh, a maze, ooh. And then they look at it the same way, a couple would look at the tape oh, honey, there's a corn maze in a farm about 80 miles from here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do you know how they got this organic milk to this spot in this coffee? Did you know there's a fucking maze made of cardboard in someone's apartment? That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so Greg.
It's so Greg and Bryn. Do you think Gordon lives here? Because I couldn't tell if Gordon's either a neighbor, he's a friend who also lives close by. Because how he seems to be dressed is I don't know, so casual. It's almost like pajama level, that that little that sweater, and that like superhero cowboy carrying a breadstick and a carrot T-shirt. It looks very chilling around the house Sunday afternoon.
So he could either live there as a roommate, or he's like the Kramer of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume possibly David and Annie live together, and either he's in he's in the extra bedroom, or he's just down the hall who like comes in and hangs out a lot, and he's the Dave's good bud.
Yeah, that was my impression. He's the hetero life mate kind of guy. He's the silent Bob to Dave's Jay.
Exactly. If I made a maze, first I go, Jay, I need you to come over and just kind of curate the whole thing. I just need.
Look, guys, I would start texting people. Look, guys, Dave's going to this cardboard maze. I need you to come over, and as soon as we're all here, whatever happens, happens. I'll order a pizza. I'll order a pizza. I'll get Rachel to make some peanut butter and jellies. We'll be good.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Gordon uses that phrase a lot. Whatever happens, happens. That's common in the Gordon vernacular.
Yeah,
that's kind of his life motto.
And the fact, Greg and Brand doing their hey Daves and Gordon, Dave being upset. He's going, Gordon, what the fuck? I definitely feel like whoever I don't know who he wanted in the place. It sounds like he may have wanted nobody, but this accidentally got out, and now it's become a tourist trap because Gordon mentions Nicole could make it, but Jane is here, and Jane wants to go inside, and this woman scares me. Her energy just scares me. It's like I worry she's going to trash the place.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I was just thinking, like, so what's your take on Jane? Because she doesn't fit in. Like Gordon, Greg, Bryn, not as much, but they seem like generally a laid back, easygoing kind of crowd. Like you said, Gordon is half a step away from just being in his pajamas. And then Jane is just over the top energy. Like she just does not fit in with the rest of the people we've met this minute.
Well, you could tell like her over the top energy is her pastel clothes. The pink, green pants. So
she definitely seems like the person who sends like the Evites to like some tea and cocktail party, like I don't know, weeks in advance, and she's constantly reminding you about this tea and sandwiches party. And you're like, all right, it's just tea and sandwiches. Like
we'll have finger sandwiches, and the ladies will wear hats, and it'll be a great thing. And everyone's like,
all right, Jane.
All right, Jane.
We're going to show up for 10 minutes and leave.
Yeah. Elephant in the room. Were they Norwegian?
The
tourists.
Yeah,
the Flemish tourists.
Yeah. Where?
Now wait, am I the only one? When I saw them, my first thought is that the couple? Are they the Porsche drivers from Super Troopers?
The equivalent of? Yeah.
Well, I know. I thought literally, like,
really?
Are those the same actors? And they're not. But I'm like, wait. And I had to check IMDb. I'm like, and the guy doesn't really look alike. But I thought the woman looked a lot like the couple from Super Troopers, but it's not them.
I don't know what makes me laugh so much about the guys wearing this Columbia jacket, as if like they're like, because like it's like he's dressed like they're going on an Icelandic mountain hike. And it's like, no, you're in someone's apartment in the city. Like you clearly are there. Like you don't need a rain jacket right now, bub.
He is prepared for everything. There's a tuxedo under that jacket. That's a guarantee.
The funny thing is, I have almost the exact same jacket that he's wearing. At least the same colors, the green and black like that. But yeah, it's like this was not in their plan for the day when they woke up, when they left their hotel that morning. But somehow they've ended up here, and we don't know how or why.
In my mind, that's the comedy of it, is that like this somehow got so out, it started going into the public, like I don't know, like the Pinterest and other social media things where you're like, oh, what, you go on the app, it's like, oh, what can we do today in the city? And like, oh, exactly. There's a guy who made a cardboard maze. Oh, honey, that's so good. Let's go over there. Oh yeah, it's so good. I don't want to escape this, but yeah, Greg saying, I don't understand, why can't you just break out of it? It's like, Greg, that's why you weren't invited. You just don't get it, man. Like, as Andy says, because he's attached to it, and I don't know if it's a physical attach, like he physically can't escape it because he's taped himself accidentally to a wall, or it's a metaphysical attachment, it's the equivalent of a blanket that a toddler would sleep with, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's going to touches on, and maybe this is one of the reasons Robert chose this minute, is I think it touches on one of the things we talked about for Groundhog Day, is people kind of just repeat things, and there's like cliches that people will say over and over again, and you think you're being clever, you think you're coming up with something that we haven't heard 1,000 times already, but you're not that clever and you're not unique. So, gee, do you think if it was that easy, like, oh, just cut your way through the cardboard. Oh, why didn't we think of that? Like, no, we thought of that. If it was that easy, we would have done it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not adding anything, Greg. You're not
missing. You're missing a detail here. It's like you show up to the party not knowing everything, but you think you're the smartest man in the room.
Right.
Yeah. And Greg and Bryn with their stolen coffee mugs from the cafe.
So you don't sound off to me. You don't think? So Greg and Bryn, are they going to last? Is this union built to last? You think they got something, or?
Well, but it's like I think the rest of the people are like it's like if it was as if we were having a wine and cheese night. Mm-hmm. Fine, let Greg and Bryn come over. This is totally in their wheelhouse. But it's like if there's a rescue operation to explore a cavernous cardboard maze, no, I'm not bringing them. I'll take the Flemish tourists because they probably know how to spelunk, you know?
Well, I mean, pardon the expression, but at this point, if you're trying to rescue someone in a cardboard maze, you need someone that can think outside the box.
Yeah.
Zing. Yeah. Oh, that's great. But yes.
I would take the hobo because he says he knows cardboard. That's
he knows cardboard. More cardboard.
The hobo.
He knows cardboard.
You're right. He's the equivalent of when they brought in. It's here you go. Because this movie doesn't look like a horror film. It looks like a goofy comedy, but maybe with some little bit of drama in it. So that's why I see this as. But if this was a straight horror film, this would be like why they brought Sam Neill in Event Horizon. It was like, oh, he built it. He knows the architecture of the ship, and he can let us know about the ship. It's like they bring the hobo. It's like, oh yes, I know the architecture of the cardboard. I know what's a good this is a support wall, and
this is load-bearing cardboard. We can take this wall out.
Double corrugation. They don't want you getting out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's like the girl in Jurassic Park with the I know Unix line. I know cardboard. This is cardboard.
Da, 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 da.
I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the movie someone's wiping his brow like it's covered in sweat.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to spoil the last seconds of the minute, Annie definitely knows the pizza's coming because she's counting cash.
Yeah.
I feel like she's counting the cash. She ordered the pizza, but in the meantime, she's going to make herself a peanut butter and jelly.
Well, and also there's what, 3, 5, 6 people we see, and are they
plus Harry's crew?
Are they getting one pizza? Maybe she knows. Anne's just I'm not going to get a slice. I'm going to make myself a sandwich.
Yeah, she could be removing herself
because she knows. Probably Greg and Bryn were like, oh no, don't order for us. We've got our coffee. We're good. But then once the pizza arrives, that smells good. It looks good. Oh, do you mind? Yeah, and they end up eating anyway. Anne knows she's been through this, so she's like, fine, I'll order the one pie and get myself a sandwich. And now I have to say, I didn't know this. There are places that they don't call pizzas pies. They don't have pizza pie.
Yeah, most of the.
So for the listeners that don't know what I said when I said pie, I was talking about a pizza pie. I've had to explain that before, and I'm like, I'm just trying to educate. That's what I do.
Did you know George mentioned pineapple twice today? God.
Oh. I try to block it out because I don't do pineapple.
Say what you want about pork roll. At least it's a product made in New Jersey. Colorado's had pineapples? Yeah. Oh, you're a tropical climate all of a sudden? Oh, okay. No, I didn't think of that. I just thought you were a mile above sea level. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do I know?
Not really indigenous to the area.
Yeah.
Pineapples.
I compare Georgian pineapples to that Coke bottle in that African tribe. The gods must be crazy.
The gods must be crazy.
So, like, what is this? So, yeah, if I see a pineapple in that pizza, I'm going to flip. So, when Dave says, "Can you come to the back of the labyrinth, please?" And, Annie says, "I can't get the pizza." It's obviously, it's not about the pizza. It's clearly something where she doesn't want to... It's like she just wants to keep a distance from Dave right now. Mm-hmm. I'm very curious, what represents the back of the labyrinth, the front. Well, there's that front sign that says "Welcome" or something, right? Or
there's like an entrance.
Entrance, yeah. So clearly, somewhere on the other side must be a back of it. But yeah, that look she gave really kind of meant like she doesn't want to approach the reality of the situation that Dave could be lost in a maze of cardboard in the apartment.
Yeah, and there is we know there's something funky going on, just part of the the maze. It's got the TARDIS quality. It's kind of bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. The sound kind of jumped at me because normally I think of cardboard as something that absorbs sound.
Yeah.
But it sounded like Dave from the inside, it's very echoey. Like he doesn't sound like someone who's inside the cardboard that we see. So there's just adding to the mystery of just what is going on inside there.
Yeah, I think it was also kind of fun to add the chimneys. Every time he talked, we saw like little chimneys and smokestacks.
Yeah.
So it gave this verticality to it. Like, no, like we're letting the audience know immediately, the inside of this maze is not going to be 3 feet tall. Like, it's going to be larger. Like, the fact that it's echoing off the tops of chimneys and little vents and smokestacks. Yeah,
it gives it like a cavernous feel. That echoey, booming voice you hear,
which makes it all feel more uncomfortable when it's just like we don't know where Dave is. We know he's here, but we don't know where he is.
Everything's at a distance too, so that's it's not like in reality. If you're laying in a cardboard castle in the middle of your apartment, they know like you're right under the cardboard, so it's like there's something with this cardboard itself.
Yeah.
Right. When you can hear there's like two qualities to like a shout or raising your voice. One is the volume, but one is just the quality of the voice. Like Dave, he's not very loud, but he sounds like he's shouting from a great distance kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, would that be funny if we get inside the maze the labyrinth? We get inside the labyrinth and it's exactly what it looks like. It's like a 3x3 thing, and Dave's just lying there on his back, and somehow he sounds far away, though.
Well, we're definitely going to find that out if you.
Yeah, someone's going to find out. I guess. Eventually,
we got to go in this maze.
They got to go in.
That's what we know it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of right. We've seen movies before. We know how things go.
That's Chekhov's maze. That's
You're right.
You set a labyrinth of cardboard up. We got to go in it.
We got to go in.
But I mean, that's what I have for now. Just we have our players. It seems that we have a lot of our main cast kind of. I know it's excuse me. Is that it's interesting? Is they're all kind of on each is on a different side of it. They're not all standing on one side right now. They're all kind of like separated by different sides of the maze. Gordon's on this side, Jane's on the other. You got Greg and Bryn on this side, and then Annie's kind of like off still, like in between the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah, they're kind of surrounding the labyrinth. They're on all different sides. And then the hobo's going to go take a shower. The only thing I had, and it's a quick little thing I noticed, and I don't know if if any of the listeners pick up on this. So is the music on the background I thought was interesting, and about halfway through, so like the 30-second mark in this minute, it kind of starts. I got a little like Fatboy Slim punk to funk vibe off of the Better Living Through Chemistry album from '96, and the sample is actually from a Keith Manfield song called Young Scene, and like it kind of started like got a little funky, and then it backs out, and then it just breaks into to some other stuff. But I thought there was, I thought that was interesting. It added some texture, just the music for the second half of the scene, and it kind of just things are ramping up. The pizza's here. People are moving. Like, the first half of the minute was just introductions, and then the second half is like, all right, action's starting now, so get ready. And I'm getting ready for whatever may come.
Well, I think it's. So, is that what we have, Jay? Any other?
Yeah, Jay. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. I think we talked about that minute.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, we don't really know how to sign this one off because
we'll be back for we'll be back for minute 15.
Yeah, we will. So we'll catch you around the cardboard corner. Yeah, that's my sign out phrase. I'm just winging it now.
Okay. Well, so Jay, if people want to hear you talk about mazes and labyrinths and other stuff, do you have your own podcast? What do you have going on? Where can people find you?
So I just got through a hiatus, so I'm going to start back up with my podcast, Whole Week Costa.
Nice.
So we're looking to try to get some guests on. I took like a month hiatus, so I started back up Monday and gonna edit and start posting again.
Nice.
Great. Welcome back.
Thanks.
And Dave, I'm sure everyone knows where to find you, but just in case they've forgotten, you should remind them.
You can find me over at 5minutesofmystery.com. Still working, and slowly but surely working on organizing more guests on to talk about the 1999 Ben Stiller superhero comedy ensemble Mystery Men.
Yeah, and a little bird told me you have some really good guests coming up on 5 Minutes of Mystery. So definitely
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep, Jean-Claude Van Damme, get all the Expendables cast on. Yep,
exactly. So I would definitely recommend people check that out. And if you want to find me, I did the Groundhog Minute with Dave, as we mentioned, at groundhogminute.com. But I'm also I'm going to point people to catandsean.org. That's CAT and SEAN.org. And I just kind of list all my podcast goings on the page there. So that's probably the best place to find me. And then you found this. So come wherever you found this, do that again for the next minute, I guess. There's a lot of mystery surrounding the whole process here. So there you go. And we'll be back again, I think.
Yeah, I'd say I'll see you around the cardboard corner. That's the best lie I can think of.
See you around the cardboard corner.
And then I could probably disarm all the traps. And then we could finish this maze. Who is with me?
That was Sean German and Dave Pallas of Groundhog Minute, along with James Costa of Whole Week Costa, taking on Minute 12 of Dave Made a Maze. They will be back in Minute 15. Next time on Dave Made a Minute, we've got Travis Bowe of Watchmen Minute taking on Minute 13.
Thank you for listening to Dave Made a Minute. Intro dialogue snippets were taken from Dave Made a Maze, directed by Bill Watterson, written by Bill Watterson and Steve Sears, and produced by John Charles Meyer. Intro music is Diversion by The Equals, featured in the film Dave Made a Maze, and Life Cycle of a Match by Parvis Decree. Outro music is Leaving This God-Forsaken Place and Her Presence is Strong Here by Parvis Decree. Dave Made a Minute is a production of Lemming Drop Studio and all other featured podcast producers. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Dave Made a Minute. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and review on your podcatcher of choice, and check out all of the participants' other shows to spread the love around. Again, thank you for listening.
As long as we're all working together, this is going to be fine. It's going to be great.
I need you to notify the families of everyone who died here today.
Totally. Wait, what?